I'm very thankful for you being here, especially just coming in such short notice. But you've been in the news, man. You've been everywhere, and you know what? And you haven't even been talking like that. You just
I
been chilling.
haven't. I haven't. I haven't. I'm a victim, man.
Yeah, I see. I believe that too. And it's funny because I didn't even really want to watch any of the interviews and anything like that because I just like having a conversation.
Yeah, yeah.
But forget all of that for right now. What's been happening, big dog? How you feel?
Man, I'm blessed, bro.
Your flight was cool.
Flight was great, man. I just appreciate the accommodations, man. Like it's hard to find.
Anytime you in the city,
Real,
anytime you over this way, you
real
good.
brothers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't gonna call you no nigga. You know what I'm saying? But
You can
brothers,
say anything you
but
want on
brothers,
this.
the brothers that know how to do business. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
stand on it and treat you, like business is supposed to be conducted is rare,
Yeah.
special, and I want to tell everybody out there if you ain't, had the pleasure to be interviewed by Anton and his lovely production, man, y'all got to come fuck with him, man, because this is top notch. Detroit is always gonna be Detroit,
I appreciate
but
it, bro.
I'm grateful, man.
Where are you? Because I know you stand out on the West Coast. Where are you currently from?
I'm from North Carolina, Asheville, North Carolina.
You went to college in North Carolina too, didn't you?
UNC Tar Heels.
What was it like growing up in North Carolina?
Um, to be honest, man, it's a bit of a blur because I feel like I'm so old.
Do you?
I feel it's just lifetimes I feel like I've lived already. But growing up in Asheville was similar to any other big city hood, even though we're a small city.
Mm.
We have our ghettos and our hoods and our good parts, bad parts. Um, but for me personally, it was more like a hippie town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where black folks, white folks, a lot of Russians and Ukrainians and all those was migrating there,
Really?
and yeah, it became a melting pot. So it helped me culturally understand different races and ethnicities and how to get around and move around and prepared me for boarding school. I ended up going to boarding school for 2 years before going to Carolina.
Really?
Yeah,
What was that like?
different. It was college before college.
Hmm.
So I was able to prepare myself for a lot of the accolades and things I got in high school was based on me going to boarding school,
Mm.
focusing on academic, where I had like a 1.3 GPA and I went to boarding school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
ended up being the student of the year 2 years in a row.
Do you think that the change of environment helps younger people? Because even me, I went to a private school. My father sent me to private school for a couple years prior to me kind of really getting my bearings under me, and it changed my perspective towards business, towards life,
Oh yeah.
everything. Do you think that significantly changed the direction of your
You're an
life?
example. You're an example right
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
right? Your mindset is not focused on being in the streets. What's the latest bullshit I can get into?
hmm,
It's what's the lick at? Where the bread
yeah,
at? It's a hustler's mindset, right? So going to those boarding schools, those private schools, give you a different incentive from being lethargic and sitting on the couch waiting for something to happen for you. It pushes you to go do something, to be a creator instead of a competitor. And I
yeah.
think that that's what happens in the black community is we compete with each other. We don't create with each other.
Did you always know, or at what age did you realize that you could make the league?
Um, Probably when I was like 13.
Man, that's crazy because Lamar was saying the same thing. Lamar Odom was saying the same thing. He was just saying that at a very early age, he just knew that he was going.
Yep.
Whereas a lot of other guys, it seems like that don't make it, or that I've talked to, that seem like they could have but never made it. It was
Yep.
almost like they was hoping that they was gonna get there.
Yep.
But you knew that you was gonna make the league earlier.
Man, it was watching the McDonald's All American game with my mom one day. I think this was the Darnell Harvey, Jonathan Bender era,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember saying to her, "I'm going to be on this. I'm going to be on this, and then we're going to go to the
Mm.
NBA." And that was like 11 and a half, maybe 12 years old.
Yeah.
My dad always had me play up, so I was never playing with my
Age
age group.
range.
Never. I was 12 playing with 25-year-olds. So it gives you an incentive when you can fit in with 25-year-olds at 12, 13. You start measuring up your competition
Mm-hmm.
in your own age group, and you say, all right, they can't fuck with me at all.
Mm.
And then all you need is one person to tell you, hey, man, you could go to the league.
Yeah.
And you ain't even thinking about it. Like as kids back then, we wasn't thinking about no NBA, no money, no nothing. It was just, how can I be better than Michael Jordan?
Mm.
I want to be like Mike. I want them to be like me. I want them saying that in my name with
Yeah.
that. And to be thinking about that at 12 is different. We're rare. We're unicorns. The
Mm-hmm.
guys like Lamar and I, guys like Tim Thomas, Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
You know, either we pan out or we don't, but we all got the same mindset.
Yep.
We're all stuck in this loop of greatness that we want to achieve, and we got to go after all the time. But it never really always pans out in our favor because there's so many obstacles to overcome.
As you're growing and you on that trajectory, right? Because obviously, as you get older, it starts to get to the point to where you start to realize, yeah, I'm gonna make it into the league,
Yep.
right? Is it a kind of like a come to Jesus moment where, because you were playing up, right?
Yep.
And it was similar to what Lamar was talking about because he was over in New York, I believe,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And did it start to get to a point to where you start seeing competition that was similar to you as you was going up? You know what I'm saying? Whether it be in college or high school or any of that space. When did you start to realize that there's other guys out here that's just as good as me?
Immediately.
Really?
Like the AAU circuit.
Yeah.
Because back then, it's like if you wasn't introduced to the AAU circuit, you really wasn't that good of a player.
Mm-hmm.
You were hidden. You was in a small town. You really didn't have access to it. So for me, I was in a more local team that spanned it out to give us like state opportunities,
Mm-hmm.
you know, going against everybody who was good in the state. Then we went to the Youth Basketball of America, which was YBOA. And that AAU circuit opened you up to nationals, right? Where Detroit, the family.
Yeah.
We played against those guys
Yeah,
and seen that
yeah.
talent, Lester Abrams and all those type of guys, CDR, Chris Douglas Roberts, all those type of guys, and you get exposed to things that you never thought were in your realm. So you was like, damn, this guy's good. This guy's good. He's from Texas, from New York. Then you get to measure up against them.
Yeah.
So when you first get to measure up against how good you are based on everybody else in the country, you start seeing things that they do that they can't, like that
Yeah.
they can't do what you do.
Yeah.
So you're like, yo, wait, you ain't really that good.
Mm-hmm.
So then you start measuring up, you start performing against them, and they start seeing it. They start giving you respect. They start knowing your name when you walk in the gym. And when that happens, it's a domino effect of just like power. It's an ultimate power shift. And not a lot of people get it or see it, but you see it with LeBron, you see it with KD.
Yeah.
You see it with, Kobe, T-Mac. When niggas walk in the room, you like, oh, that's a hooper right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a hooper right there.
Is it a like when you in college, right? Because obviously it was a time where it seemed like it started to be a transition where they started to have guys go straight from high school, and obviously the LeBron era was basically the end of that. Once he came from high school and he went straight to the league. But when you were in college, was it like a fame thing that started to kick in that was a little bit more bigger than where you was when you were growing up? And how did you handle it, or how do a lot of guys handle the fame or the visibility that comes with kind of being more noticeable once you start to get into college and people start to realize that you're going into the league?
Yeah, it's the McDonald's All-American game.
Really?
That's your first culture shock of fame.
Yeah.
Because before that, it's just the high school rankings, right? It's the ladder that you're trying to get on, where you rank. And once people start seeing where you rank, you're top 10, top 25, they start noticing you in the basketball world when you're walking out. But once you're in college, and I remember this day very distinctly. We was doing Midnight Madness. It was our freshman year, Midnight Madness, where we come out and everybody is being introduced to the campus, so to say. And we were being introduced, and I had my own little thing that I did, which was the X. And and I remember they called my name, and I was kind of standing in one of those where the stairs come down from the gymnasium. You go down to the court, and I was standing in one of those, and they was waiting for them to say my name, and I threw my X up, and I heard the crowd.
Yeah.
I ain't never heard nothing like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a dopamine? You think about all these girls and how they deal with attention. That probably would have been every athlete's moment of dealing with something you've never dealt with before.